With that, we say welcome in to another brand new live edition of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. Welcome in on a Thursday morning. Oh, what do you know? It's raining out again. We start your day off with a 73-degree day, high of 91. I guess this morning's rain will only make it a little bit more humid around the Tennessee Valley. Why not? I mean, we're only in the month of June. We still have whole July and August to go, but just give us summer now because I guess we need it. Talent Heating and Air can take care of those blues. If you're sitting inside your house and you got no air, give them a call, 256-503-4490. Talent Heating and Air, let their talent do some work for you. You can find them online, talenthvac.com. Thomas, Terry, Jeremy, give them a call. Serving Huntsville and surrounding areas, they've got to offer they offer all kinds of solutions that'll fit your needs. Just give them a call. Find them online. Tune-up, service repair, ductwork, natural gas, system installation, indoor air quality. They've got it all. Thomas, Terry, Jeremy. Just give them a call, 256-503-4490. TalentHVAC.com. Good news is, hopefully after 8 o'clock, it doesn't rain anymore. So I guess that's the good news if you're looking for anything. 256-576. Safe travels into work, into school, wherever you may be headed. 256-576-4977. That's the number to the phone lines this morning. You can join us throughout the day. Bottom of the hour, Chris Welch, longtime Huntsville Times reporter, editor, going to join us. We're going to reflect a little bit on the late John Pruitt, the late great John Pruitt. We'll talk about that. Top of the hour, 8 o'clock, former UAH and Auburn standout Chaney Johnson will be in studio with us. We'll recap Auburn's Final Four run via the lens of Chaney Johnson. Then at 8:30, Rodney Orr will join us as we kind of get you caught up on everything Alabama football recruiting. So we are full to the brim today on a Thursday, getting it all in because we will not be here tomorrow. We do want to invite you. Apparently everybody else is hearing about this and it's causing quite the stir. But we want to invite you to the Talking Ball Barbecue on July 3rd. If you want to know where it's at, our good listener B. Rich is hosting us in his garage again. Remember, we Friday turkey there for Thanksgiving. We are now going to open up the cavalcades, and we're going to do a barbecue on July 3rd. That's how we're going to send you off on the 4th of July holiday. So if you want to come, just give us a call at the station, 256-576-4977. We're not going to give the address out. All you got to do is show up. We're going to have all kinds of food. We'll have some games. I don't know. We're just going to do it in the yard. We're just going to have a morning barbecue. 7 o'clock in the morning, going to fire up the barbecue and have it ready to go. So that'll come your way on July 3rd. A lot of stuff going on. The NBA draft also hitting the pavement, I guess you could say, last night. Interesting night as far as the NBA draft goes. As expected, your first overall pick in the NBA draft. Here is how it sounded, courtesy of ESPN.
The 2025 NBA draft, the Dallas Mavericks select Cooper Flagg from Duke University.
There's such a purity.
There you go. The first overall pick last night. Cooper Flagg goes first overall, number 1, to the Dallas Mavericks. 59 picks in all last night. Spurs second pick select Dylan Harper out of Rutgers. 76ers with the third pick, VJ Edgecombe from Baylor, then Concanapple from Duke. Ace Bailey goes to the Jazz from Rutgers. So Rutgers, who, by the way, did not even make the NCAA tournament, did not even have a winning record in the Big Ten, had two players selected in the top 5 of the NBA draft. Washington Wizards trade Johnson out of Texas with the 6th pick. Pelicans get Jeremiah Fears from Oklahoma. And then Duke with the 10th pick. So again, Duke had 3 picks inside the top 10, kind of what we foreshadowed yesterday. The Hawks get Derek Queen, then trades him to the Pelicans. Spurs, Carter Bryant from Arizona. Some interesting notes with the draft from SEC standpoint. It is the first draft since 2009. First draft since 2009 that Kentucky did not have a player taken in the first round. It is also the first draft since 2007 that John Calipari did not have a first-round pick in the draft. So those are a couple notes surrounding the NBA draft as far as the SEC goes. Now, with Duke's overall number 1 pick last night, Cooper Flagg, Duke has now 5 first-round draft picks that have been taken overall number 1. That's a record, followed by Kentucky with number 3, or 3, I should say. And there are a slew of teams that have had 2 overall first-round draft picks. And Duquesne, after last night, Duquesne now still holds the record with the only school with back-to-back overall number 1 draft picks. They did that in 55 and 56. So there you go. Duquesne still holds a record as far as NBA draft picks go. So.
Yeah, that was one I was not aware of. I was too busy listening to some idiot say that Colin Cowherd got drafted.
That was, by the way, that was ESPN.
Yep.
And ESPN's NBA draft coverage
was horrendous.
Is absolutely horrendous.
It is horrible.
Stephen A. Smith got to go.
Well, he wasn't even on it.
But he
wasn't even on it. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't even Stephen A. this time. They had Dumb, Dumber, Dumbest, and Jay Billis. Who was
Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah, and he's an idiot.
Yeah.
He doesn't know anything about the college players at all. I mean, you could tell that he was horrendous. He kept throwing it back to Jay because Jay's actually watched him play and actually knows what he's talking about. And then they had the 2 WNBA ladies on there, I guess.
Yes. That was one of them that called it Colin Cowherd.
Yeah, she said well,
I think that was her.
Yeah, she did, but it wasn't quite. It was Colin Cowherd.
Yes.
It sounded like Cowherd because my buddy Keith Niebuhr caught it first, and he said, "Did Colin Cowherd just get drafted?" And I quoted his post on X, and I said, "Well, that's what I thought I heard." And then before that, she said that Brandon Miller got traded to the Raptors, and I was like, "Wow!" And I posted that. I was like, "I didn't realize Brandon Miller got traded to the Raptors." I said, "It was Brandon Ingram." Hello. I mean, it is bad.
No, it is horrible. It is horrible.
Please tell me now that you have signed them that you're going to let Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, Charles, and Shaq and these guys do the draft coverage with Jay Billis, please. Please throw him a lifeline and get the rest of these dumber and dumbest people off of the broadcast that are awful. I thought it was Carl Ravage's daughter at first. I mean, it was horrendous When you think Colin Cowherd may have gotten drafted, I mean, give me a break. And the thing about Cedric Cowherd was, that was an interesting odyssey, because at one time, as we know, he was a Division III player, and then he moved his way up to Washington State, got injured. He only played in a handful of games last year.
Yeah.
Looked like he might go to Alabama. Then Duke, when they're trying to rebuild their roster, because as you just mentioned, they had the number 1 overall pick, Cooper Flagg, and then they ended up for the second time having 3 lottery picks because, Con Knippel goes 4th overall to Charlotte, and then come on Malawach, and I mean, they couldn't even pronounce Malawach last night on the air, but he ends up going 10th and then getting traded from Houston to Phoenix.
Yeah.
But that's 3 lottery picks for Duke. With Duke had signed Cowherd, but he ended up staying in the draft, and now we know why. I mean, he was, drafted 11th overall, traded to the Grizzlies, and good for him.
So Stephen A. was on the ABC broadcast.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. I just watched the ESPN.
Yeah, Stephen A. was on the ABC broadcast, and it was horrific. The ABC broadcast was just as bad as the ESPN broadcast, because all Stephen A. did was go on rants and scream the whole time.
Gotcha.
And it was awful.
I didn't realize they were simulcast.
It was bad.
I guess I could have checked ABC, but I
tonight it's just on ESPN. Last night it was on ABC. Yeah. And Seth Greenberg was the analyst that did the radio broadcast version of the draft.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was all right.
I guess I should have turned it over there.
No, you didn't need to turn it over. No, it was bad. You wouldn't have wanted to turn it over. Richard is with us on the phone lines real fast. Good morning, Richard.
Morning.
Hey, morning, guys. Hey, I was calling up. I didn't watch it on ABC. I was doing some yard work and running around, and didn't sit down till about 9. But yeah, I didn't realize it was on both. But I saw people tweeting about which one of the 3 shows were the worst. You had Stephen A. Then you had the Bozo Zone and on ESPN. Then they were even saying, Seth Greenberg was pretty bad on the radio.
Oh, I didn't hear any of Coach, but he's been with us before. But he's at least seen just about all these guys play. Now, maybe not all the foreign guys, and a lot of times they'll bring Fran Fraschilla or somebody in, or Jonathan Gavoni, Sham Shanaria, I think that's how you pronounce it, who took over for Wojnarowski. He was their insider on ESPN. He was struggling a little bit because he couldn't pronounce Malawach, but still, it was. And I understand TV is different than radio and what we're doing. And trust me, I've done just a small smidgen of television. It is completely different. But I just thought, when you're thinking about something as major as the NBA draft, Richard, that their preparation was poor.
Yeah.
Well, you always talk about mock drafts, but you kind of know who's going, where you can kind of be prepared. It's not like, you may get surprised, because I watched the last maybe 10 picks by the time I sat down last night. Mm-hmm. And these foreign guys, and I'm just kind of going, who? Yeah. I mean, but I'm saying, but these guys had been predicted to where you could have, because they had film on them, but I mean, you could have film and have a report, ready to roll out, to talk about these guys.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Nick Saban in the NFL draft. I mean, he's prepared, and I mean, you got to prepare for a lot more players out, with that. But like I said, it's just it's kind of like outside of Billis, these guys just kind of phoned it in.
Well, and they also have Fran Fraschilla.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about with the foreign aspect. I said,
he's
Fran
on the bench. They didn't even use him.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. I didn't watch the ABC version. I watched ESPN from the start, and they had an hour build up, and then they had the first round, and so it just I didn't see that, but it nothing surprised.
I didn't realize it was on ABC, because like I said, the first thing I found on my TV was the ESPN broadcast, and kind of sat down. Then I saw people making fun of Stephen A. and it was on ABC, and I didn't. And like I said, I wasn't paying that much attention to it. I was doing a couple of other things. Well, I had it on, and then there was a lot of these foreign guys that I didn't care about anyway. Out.
Well, it's like ESPN tries to, I guess, because he makes so much money,
right?
That they try to inject Stephen A. into everything that they have going on.
And
college football,
is basketball. I will say for him.
Right.
Yeah.
But they try to inject him into everything.
Yeah. So do you? I didn't. So Scott, you watched some of the ABC. Who did they have with Stephen A? I mean, who was on that panel?
What was it? Kevin Nagande.
Okay, Kevin Nagande. Okay, he would probably be the guy that was the host then.
Yeah,
I could see Kevin Nagande.
Yeah.
I did see where of the 9 of the first 10 players drafted played against Alabama last year, though.
They did. I think, and it's ironic. I had to sit there and think to myself, when I saw that post, because of course everybody remembers, that they played against Rutgers early in Vegas, and so you played against both those guys, and they had trouble with with Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey. There's no doubt about that, because those guys were, you could tell they were both special talents. Now, again, it goes to show you got to have an entire team, because Rutgers didn't make the tournament and probably ended up with a losing record, I believe.
But, they did. They were below 500, and they were below 500 in Big Ten play.
Yeah.
Didn't make the NCAA tournament, had two top 5 picks.
Yeah. But the one that I think they didn't play against, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, Richard, but of the 10, I don't think they played against Colin Murray Boyles. I didn't think they played against South Carolina last year.
Yeah, they have to, because it's the SEC.
But I didn't think they played everybody, though, because you don't play everybody in the league anymore.
You played like 3 teams twice, and everybody won.
Okay, I was thinking because when they went to 16 teams, that there were certain teams you did not play in a year.
No, I think we played them out there and just blew them out.
Okay, well then because
we played against because Nick Pringle was on the team. We played against Nick, so.
Well, I mean, and then, the reason I'm just
88-68 was the final.
Well, and here's the thing, though. They keep saying that Alabama played 9 of the top 10 picks, and if I'm looking at this correctly, they should have played all of them, because I believe they blew out Texas. They went, and I know I was there. They blew out Oklahoma, and then Igor Dimon played at BYU, and
Alabama held,
and they played BYU and blew them out.
Alabama held Colin Murray Boyles to just 6 points in that contest. It was an 88-68 win for Alabama.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So they played Cooper Flagg, Con Knipple, and Kamon Malawach, because that was their last game of the year. They played Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey, because we just talked about that. They played Trey Johnson. They played Jeremiah Fears. They played Igor Dimon. And if they played Colin Murray Boyles, they played all 10 of them. So
yeah, because like I said, the guy from BYU would be the only one, unless he was hurt or something.
No, Dimon played, because I watched the game, so I think that's a screw up. I think they played all 10.
Yeah, I didn't. Like I said, I missed the first of the draft, and I've actually not even seen a list yet. When it went off, I just cut the TV off and never. Like I said, I didn't sit down till about 9 o'clock or so last night.
Because I kept looking at it,
watching it.
And I was like, okay, I should have gone and double checked on Murray Boyles.
Igor Dimon played 27 minutes, had 15 points. He was 6 of 14 from the field.
They played all 10 of them.
So
I don't understand why you'd say 9 out of 10.
Yeah, no, Beers played against us, because I saw him, and then I know Johnson played when we played in Austin.
Yeah, so that's just a screw up somehow, probably sent by the SID office, and they didn't double check it or something.
All right, Richard.
Okay, see you guys
thanks
later.
for the phone call. Got to get a break in. When we come back, Bama, we'll get back out to the phone lines, but we got to get this break in real fast. It's Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Rocket City Trash Pandas are back right before Independence Day for a 3-game homestand July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. The homestand concludes with a special Independence Eve celebration featuring a 6:05 p.m. start time and post-game fireworks show. Get your tickets for the homestand now by visiting TrashPandasBaseball.com.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, Check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
John Abraham here from Bobcat of Huntsville. Right now till the end of June, you can get 0% financing on the world-famous line of Bobcat skid steers, excavators, mowers, and tractors. Need attachments? They got them. And did I mention 0% as in nada? No financing charge for 48 months. It's like free money. Visit the brand new Bobcat of Huntsville in their tremendous new facilities on Highway 20 in Madison, right next to Redstone Harley-Davidson.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Best of all, now Thompson Tractor is making that investment even better with our workhorse special. Get 0% financing for 36 months on the purchase of a new Cat 255 compact track loader that comes with a 3-year warranty. You also get a 74-inch bucket and 1,000-hour filter kit. But hurry, this offer is only good through June 30th. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor. We're here for you.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. So after further research.
Yeah, Scott and I researching this.
Alabama did not play Baylor last season.
CJ Edgecombe is who they didn't see.
So it was 9 out of 10 that Alabama faced. They faced 9 of the 10 first-round draft picks.
I do remember that now. Yeah, good job out of Richard.
Yes.
And they played Baylor in 22 and 23 back-to-back and split. They won in January of 22, 87-78. They lost in 23 in March of 23, 78-74 before Edgecombe joined the squad. So they have played Baylor in the very recent past. They just didn't play them last season. Still pretty amazing, though, that you play against 9 of the top 10 guys drafted, or 9 out of 10.
Well, and that
those guys.
Colin Murray Boyles pick was a surprise. I mean, that was kind of a surprise. He was a fringe first round, but then vaults up to number 9.
Lottery. He had been moving up. I mean, if you heard Jay Billis, he was probably the only one last night of the 10 people that were on the coverage of the draft. Well, he becomes South Carolina's first ever lottery pick. Yeah, I think he's the first South Carolina Gamecock to go in the first round since 2006. And so he's a very talented player. I mean, they didn't have a good year as a team, but Murray Boyles, if you saw him, he's extremely talented. He went to Portland. And so, like I said, man, I don't know, but I think overall it's just the coverage wasn't very good. You just mentioned who was on the ABC, Bob Myers, Kevin DeGonde. Myers, I didn't hear. He should be a sharp guy because he's a former general manager in the NBA, so he knows what goes on. But again, like you said, with Stephen A., it's just a bunch of yelling and screaming and ranting about the Knicks, I'm sure, and everything else. It's just quote unquote Knicks fan from
Tired
Hollis,
of it.
Queens, but the only one that I heard last night that was very good at all was Jay Billis, and he's a pro's pro.
Let's get to the phone lines. Bama Big Rick is with us real fast. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. I just got one quick question.
Sure.
Watching the draft last night,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, how in the hell did Duke lose that championship?
I mean, it's a valid question. I mean,
how?
Well,
do we have a new era Calipari coming up? It's crazy.
How did Duke not win it, and how did Rutgers not get in it?
Yeah, well, that
right,
too.
Right. That's the 2 points. I'm like, how? It's him. I don't get it. You know what I mean? So it comes down to, do we have a new Calipari? That's all I'm asking.
Well, we'll see, Bama Big Rick. I mean, Steve Peichel is at Rutgers, and to have two players, and I watched that Bama Rutgers game, and both Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper were unbelievable and kept the game close. And Alabama won like a 95-90 game, I believe it was. It was extremely high scoring, but obviously you've got to have a complete team, but how you can't even have a winning record and at least get to the NIT is beyond me. And then with Duke, they were up 66-52, I think it was, with about 7 minutes to go, and completely collapsed against Houston. It blew my mind, but I wondered, but see, I think a lot of it too is Houston's tough-mindedness, the toughness they play with, and their coaching. And Duke, if you notice, Big Rick, they didn't have a lot of close games. And so I wondered in the NCAA tournament, if it came down to it, could they close it? And I think they even had about an 8 or 9 point lead with 2 minutes to go, and they couldn't batten down the hatches, man.
As far as Rutgers go,
Yeah.
this Rutgers team lost to Kennesaw State during the regular season.
Telling you, man.
Right. Hey, some of it's coaching. I got one.
Yeah,
quick point. I'm gonna go
agreed.
back a couple of weeks back to the Women's College World Series.
Sure.
Texas Tech coach blew that. How in the hell can you start your starter 3 games in a row? Now, I might have missed that point because some of the days I missed talk.
Right.
Yeah, that's a major choke job.
Well, she was it though. She was their pitcher all year. I mean, that was who Texas Tech rode with. I mean, her innings pitched, if you look at her innings pitched for the whole entire season, astronomical numbers.
What Big Rick's saying though is like that used to be the way it was even 10, 12, 13 years ago. Now it's more like a staff approach. You have 2 or 3 pitchers, and obviously that wasn't Texas Tech's approach, and it came back and got them.
Yep.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah, by the way, Rutgers also lost to Princeton and Indiana during the basketball season. They were 15-17 this season, 8-12 in Big Ten play. They were 11-4 at home, but 3-8 on the road.
Well, and then Ace Bailey, who I think is supremely talented,
he
cost himself some money because he refused to work out for any team.
Yeah, didn't want to work out for anybody.
Didn't work out for anybody, and then didn't visit most of them. And then his team.
Yeah, he had selected preferred teams to be drafted to.
He didn't go to that one of them. He went to Utah. He wanted to go to like Brooklyn or Washington.
It looked like he was crying. It looked like he was crying last night after he was picked.
And and wear your hat straight. You know what I'm saying? Like,
let's get Brandon in real fast. Good morning, Brandon.
Y'all were talking about a little basketball. I was going to tell you, our boy Ricky Austin is going to go out there to the EYBL tournament in Vegas.
Oh, nice.
And he's going to be coaching that in July. And he was telling me some guys that's going to be there. There's going to be a Montverde boy there, CJ Ingram.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to see Chris Stanak, Kyron Anthony, Dwayne Astro, Davis Fogel. There's going to be some big names out there coaching and players in that. So him getting to be selected to go out there and do that, pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's a really a cool honor for Coach, and to get a chance to see some big time, guys, other guys now that'll be one and dones, because I think Stanak is going to Houston. He's a big that's really exploded starting last summer, and his stock skyrocketed. So that's going to be a cool deal for him to be able. Now, is he what particular team is he coaching?
I'm trying to figure out the name of it. I was talking to him yesterday, and he was saying that he said this is not. They said we get one day to ourselves.
And
I said I told him go to the Golden Steer restaurant and sit in the same table that the Rat Pack used to sit in.
Yeah.
You can get it, and he should be able to pull it off. But he's saying, these are 10, 12, 14-hour days you're going to have coaching 5-star players. And he said it'll probably be as high of a talent as he's ever coached anywhere ever before while he's out there. And I know you know a little bit about the Montbird and C.J. Ingram, and so you expect him to be a one and done, correct?
Yeah. I mean, I more than likely. You never know in this process, but most of your top 10 to 15 guys, at least half of them will be one and dones, if not all of them. If you go back and look at the draft last night and how many of them were one and dones, and like Scott said, there was no real surprise because I think overall Ace Bailey's stock had already started to slip just simply because of how he handled the draft process, in my opinion, because he would not work out for anyone. And then they tried to put out feelers about, well, we don't want to go here, we don't want to go there. But then Utah just ignored it and drafted and will sign the best player in their opinion at the time that went 5th overall.
Well, I mean, that was the other day. Halliburton said that he didn't want to be drafted by the Hawks or the Cavs. So you look at some of these decisions that get made sometimes, and you wonder why they pick who they pick.
Yeah.
And you don't know behind the scenes who they said, please don't pick me.
Right.
And the whole Trey and Luka situation. I wonder if Luka told the Hawks not to pick him.
That's a good question. I don't think I remember hearing that, but and then Mark Cuban, who was a good owner, he at the time, he traded Trae Young for Luka. I think he was trying to replace Dirk. And I think they really liked Luka Doncic a lot.
And you really didn't hear about that a lot before Eli Manning, and then it was kind of quiet. But you're hearing more and more and more of that now, of teams being told, don't draft me. So I wonder how much of these drafts is really affected by guys telling people, I don't want to work out for you. I don't want you to draft me. I wonder how much structure that is going on that we don't ever see and we don't ever hear about.
Yeah, I don't know. And it seems like it's more common in these last couple years of the draft.
It does.
It seems like, and I'm wondering if it's a generational thing. I don't know. I could be wrong. And I'm wondering how much the agents or how much of this is being steered by these agents. I don't know. But it seems like it's only in the last couple of years. And this year seems like it was really prevalent with a lot of these young kids. So,
Scott, do you need a shirt that says 7 points, go Iowa?
Hey, look, we got the Heisman. We got a quarterback this year. Got a quarterback out of the FCS level. So hey, maybe we can have an offense this year. So it's cross your fingers. This may be one of Kurt Ferentz's better teams that he's put on the field. Got to go all the way back to when we went to the Orange Bowl there against USC, when we just missed the BCS and just missed the playoffs that year against Michigan State too, several years ago. So could be a good year. So that
interview was great.
Yeah. We got to get a break in. Hate to cut you off, but we got to get a break in at 7:34, because when we come back, just tough news in the last 24, 48 hours for people that coached the game and covered the game. We'll explain it all when we return.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
At the Huntsville Sports Commission, we do sports. The Rocket City is your destination for world-class sports in North Alabama. The Huntsville Sports Commission brings elite tournaments, championships, and other exciting athletic events to our city. From youth leagues to national championships, we're driving tourism, boosting local business, and building a stronger, more active community. When you team up with us, we'll worry about the details so you don't have to. We do sports.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, "If you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself."
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Listen to the Rocket City Trash Pandas all season long.
Swung on, rocketed, left center field. That's going to get down and go to the wall. First, he's on his way to second, and he'll pull in. There's the first ever cycle in Trash Pandas history.
Trash Panda Baseball is only on Talk Radio WCCN.
So I mentioned going to break that it's been a tough and long 24 to 48 hours for those that coached the game and those that covered the game. I woke up this morning and longtime Grissom baseball, girls basketball coach Guy Collins passed away.
Yeah, I saw Coach Ray Walker, who's a good friend of us, of our show, and we see him many times at one of our great sponsors, Bill Penny Toyota. Coach Guy Collins passing away, who was a definite fixture in our community. He worked for Ronnie Stapler, basketball-wise. He worked for Ray Walker, helped him win a state championship, then took that program over.
He was huge with the Grissom FCA. He led their huddle, I think, for 29 years. He started that in 1983.
Yeah.
So that's the one who played or coached the game and did a lot for kids there. The coverage of the game, the writing of the game, that is iconic and legend. I mean, any superlative that you can throw out there. John Pruitt passed away.
83 years old.
Yes. And I mean, just a remarkable human being. First joined the Huntsville Times in 1966, became their sports editor in 1974. He was the first person in the Alabama Sports Writers Association history to accomplish what they call the Grand Slam. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame. He won the Herbie Kirby Award and the Bill Shelton Award for community service, and served as the organization's president. So just a remarkable human.
I mean, not to mention our trophy. I've done every Huntsville. It's now the City Classic, but of course, it would not have been that the entire tournament wouldn't have been what it was without the Huntsville Times support and being, of course, carrying the namesake of it for many, many years, starting in ironically 1983. So, and our trophy is named after John Pruitt, aptly. And for the last several years, I know his health declined this year, but he would be there for the finals. He would be there for the presentation. Just a very, very well-respected man that everybody knew. and he was a very quiet, unassuming guy, but was still so everyone liked John Pruitt,
Yes.
especially our next guest who I read his byline growing up religiously. I was a big time newspaper person, always reading the paper, always enjoyed the Huntsville Times, especially their prep sections and their college football. Our next guest is a 1979 graduate of the University of Alabama. Before that, he graduated from Grissom High School. He was hired by John Pruitt in 1982 to come from the Montgomery Advertiser over to Huntsville, and then spent really his entire career as a journalist back in his hometown. He covered the University of Alabama for a long, long time. He was the first Alabama beat writer that I religiously read besides Cecil Hurt. And, of course, that's Chris Welch, and he's been kind enough to join us. And he just released this morning his column on John Pruitt, which was very, very well done. But Chris is going to take a few minutes out of his schedule to talk about his friend and mentor, John Pruitt. Chris, good morning. You're with Drew and Scott. How are you?
Morning, bud.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Scott. Great to be here with you guys.
And I know yesterday was a tough day, and I know John's health had been declining, but it's never easy to lose someone that meant so much to so many and really was the face of the Huntsville Times from the time he joined the paper and especially took it over the sports department from 1974 going forward.
Yeah, guys, it was a blessing for me to work with John for over 30 years at the Huntsville Times. My story, which I'll kind of say in Facebook today, is basically, guys, in 79 or so, I was working at the Tuscaloosa News.
Right.
And I got to know John through doing some part-time work for the Huntsville News. You guys remember that paper?
The morning paper, right.
Yeah.
The morning paper, yes.
The morning paper. And he was great then. And I interviewed with him. And I like to say I was not selected. I was second choice. But you know what he said, guys? He said, "Hey, Chris, I'll tell you this. I promise you the next opening will be yours." And, guys, I knew when he told me that I was going to be at the Huntsville Times one day. And in late 1982, he calls and says, "Are you ready to come home?" And I said, "Yeah, baby, I'm ready to do it." And 83 through 2012, he and I worked together. It was a blessed relationship, guys. He was, as you have said, and so many others, quiet, assuming, but we called him the general at the Times because his leadership was so great, but he was so humble and unassuming. I mean, and I never really saw him upset or anything, but just a wonderful person to be around. And I think we all hate to see losing him, but his health had declined some. As you guys may know, he took a fall. Maybe it was about a month or two ago. Went to the hospital, went to the rehab, went to assisted living, and he just declined. And I got to spend a lot of time with the family, Afton and Tommy, wonderful people. But you guys know sometimes it's a blessing just to be in the midst of that kind of situation. Even though it was sad, it was just something that I'll always appreciate, getting to spend the last few days with people that you really care about.
And John covered everything.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a columnist. He covered all the big stuff. I mean, we're talking Super Bowls, national championships, Hall of Fame. I mean, all that kind of stuff. But he still had a love for the local sports.
Oh yeah, Scott. You know what amazes me, and you were in the TV world for many years, and I know you understand. To be a columnist, Scott, you had to have a different DNA. I feel like I was a good writer, but as a columnist, you've got to take something. Imagine take an event, and then you're under a deadline, and you've got to analyze it, Scott. You know, there's so many people out there, as you guys see, some in your world, some in others. It's just kind of screaming, this is right, this is wrong, why are you doing it? You've got to analyze it, and then you let people realize whether it was a football game or whatever, what went right, what went wrong. And to do that under deadline is a gift. And he could it was like he could look at something and his brain processed it, and it came out in some wonderful words, on the paper.
Yeah, there's no question about that. We're talking to Chris Welch, former longtime writer and editor with the Huntsville Times, and then I thought one of my favorite pictures that I saw, and I believe it was Mark McCarter put that up, and I remember it vividly because it was so well done. Mark and John kind of tagged him on this, and as he put it, he was the second columnist, so they didn't work together a lot on projects. But when our great friend John Stallworth went into, Canton, Ohio, and was elected to the Hall of Fame, the coverage of that event, and then the picture that he took, or that Robin Kahn took, I believe it was Robin Kahn that took the photo, but it was a picture of John shaking hands with John Stallworth and Johnny Stallworth, who I got to know quite well. He graduated a couple years ahead of me at Huntsville High when I was involved with the basketball program, but that was a picture to me that brought back a lot of memories.
Yeah, one of the things I remember, Scott, is when you guys remember when Brian Shelton,
Wimbledon, right?
Yeah.
Wimbledon, and I was so jealous.
He and Mark went across the pond, right?
Yep.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, he went over across the pond. I remember when Brian Shelton was just playing junior tennis, and I've always wanted to go to Wimbledon, and that would have been great. But we sent one of the wonderful things I like about our sports department. We sent John, and then Mark eventually went. John went to Wimbledon, and he gave you a kind of a day by day behind the scenes look at Brian Shelton as he went over there on his first Wimbledon. Now, as you see, Brian's son is now playing. Kind of neat to see, but he could really, kind of bring you, that to yourself, that event, and you felt like you were there, right? He's so personable, and he's so nice, and just his personality lent you to wherever he went. He had that God-given gift that he could process that and put it on the words in a column that you felt like you knew that person.
And you mentioned Mark McCarter, but and you mentioned everyone. John Pruitt helped establish, and look, I know Birmingham says, we had some of the great writers and stuff, and they all did, and Mobile had some really good ones. But the sports staff, the team that he helped assemble there at the Huntsville Times, remarkable.
Yes, it was a great staff.
Yes.
Yeah, Scott, you remember, and so this was what was really a blessing for me, guys. So I was when my daughter was born, I wanted to kind of be a little bit more around. So in 1993, I became like the executive sports editor. So John and I worked together, but he had accumulated a staff that included Mark McCarter, Philip Marshall, several Bill Bryant, Reggie Benson, Mike Easterling. We had a great staff, as you said. I felt we were probably, no doubt, one of the best newspapers in the state. And John is one of the best writers, not only in the state, I would say the South and even the country. He stood out as a legend. But he was the center. He was the guy that started it all. He took over for Bill Easterling, I believe in 1974, and he just led the ship, one of the first things I did, Scott, was when I was hired in 83, I believe it was 85, he and I went over to the Aloha Bowl, in Hawaii. And he hated flying.
Yeah.
So the funny story is when, I don't know if you guys have won it, we were on the team plane, and that team plane must have weighed like 50 tons, right? Or whatever those things weigh. And when that thing hit the line, landed on the runway, I mean, it was like a clunk. And the pilot says, "Welcome to Hawaii." Of course, John's over there, white knuckled, on his seat. the whole time, but he was the nucleus. He was the man,
Yep.
And he put it all together, and he just did it in such a way everybody loved him, Scott. And he was one of the best, I think, the best followed person in Huntsville. You remember when they had a beat Pruitt contest?
I found some of those stickers when I was moving, man, and I knew Chris. I heard he wasn't a huge fan of that contest, by the way, but you know.
Well, see, here's the deal, Scott. He wasn't one of those guys that searched for the spotlight.
Right, exactly, yeah.
He liked doing his job kind of in that subtle way, but we had people, it's kind of like, Scott, when you play pickleball, everybody wants to beat you. It was kind of everybody wanted to beat John there, and just to get one of those stickers, it was kind of an achievement, right?
Yeah.
But you're right. John kind of would roll his eyes and do it, but he did it for the team. But that was not John. He didn't seek out the spotlight, but the spotlight found him.
Well, I can tell you, Chris, I miss every year now how good a job you guys did. My two favorite days of the year for the Huntsville Times, and both of them were on Sundays, were you guys would do the college football section, and then before that you would do the high school football. And I was always a huge high school athletics person, and those two sections I would keep for pretty much the entire year. And you also did a really good job covering recruiting as well. I just felt like the Huntsville Times was a really well done paper, and my favorite days were Sundays after the college football Saturdays, when my parents would basically get up before I did. They would have the newspaper already separated and just make sure that I got the sports page.
Yeah. I would tell you what I tell people, I had worked there for 30 years. And when the powers to be decided everything was going digital, I mean, it was crushing. I loved that place. I loved the family. And here's my take, and I don't know if you guys agree with this.
Right.
I think down the line, this next generation, I agree. Everything is going to be digital on your phone. But I tell you, people still love to hold that Sunday newspaper with those great pictures and all the work that we did. I still think people miss that. I miss it. I think there's a time when you go digital, but when we went, I think people still love, and the fact that Huntsville really doesn't have a newspaper anymore, and you can get one in Decatur and in the Muscle Shoals in Gunnersville. It just doesn't seem right that that you pull the plug that soon. So I'm like you. I think a lot of people miss it. I miss the people, as you know, Scott, that you meet along the way, and and John was a big part of that. He was the glue that held it all together. And so I'm sad that that it you don't get to look forward to the newspaper coming every day, and just to meet the people along the way that help create those stories, as you remember, Scott.
Yeah, no doubt. Well,
awesome.
Well, Chris, we appreciate all the work you did, and of course your relationship with John. And we're both Huntsville Times aficionados, especially me. I mean, I grew up here. Scott's been here since the late 90s. So he got to know everyone when the paper was still the paper. And so we again, our thoughts and prayers go out to John and his family and his kids. And I know he lost his wife in 2022 as well. Yeah. But again, just prayers out to the family. John Pruitt's a huge part of this community, and Scott's a big part of the Huntsville-Madison County Athletic Hall of Fame. And
which, by the way,
John a lot.
John wrote all of those bios for the Huntsville-Madison County Athletic Hall of Fame banquet, all those videos and everything. John would still do the reporting, would still do all the writing. Right. Fabulous, fantastic work.
Yeah. I might add one thing, which you guys mentioned. I also was friends with Guy Collins. We played softball together back in the day. And to see those two people, back to back, we lost two really great people. Condolences to Guy's family.
Yes.
It's you guys know this. We just do not promise tomorrow, and you just have to embrace and live your life almost like, there's no tomorrow. And I'm so sorry that we lose those two, but we also know that where they are they're at peace. John is reunited with his wife Bobby. I know that's a blessing in many ways. So you just every day as you get older, you just see your really close loved ones are not always here. So I appreciate my friendships as more and more as I get older. So thank you guys for letting me come on and just tell you some folks just how wonderful John and his family have been in my life. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Chris. We appreciate the time, man.
Thank you.
Okay, buddy. Have a good one.
Chris Welch there, kind enough to join us this morning. And he's right. I mean, this has been a tough week. It's been a tough week for a lot of us here because we lost Sam Baldwin. Sports Information Director, Associate AD.
Very young. Yep.
Yes, very long. We lost him earlier this week. So our thoughts and prayers are still out to everybody there at the UAH family. Then John Pruitt, and now Guy Collins. So I mean, this is the part of the show that's just kind of like you hate to do it because it's so hard to do.
Yeah.
But our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone. I mean, it's been a tough week for a lot of people. Good news is top of the hour. He's here. Chaney
Hopefully
Johnson.
not getting too wet out there.
Chaney Johnson is with us this morning. And we're just about done with hour one. When we kick off hour two, he's going to be sitting here in studio with us. And we're going to talk a little college basketball with our very, very good friend, Chaney Johnson, coming up. So he's here. He's actually here.
Nice.
Yes.
Look forward. This will be our second time having him in studio, but it's the first in our new palatial digs.
Yes. We actually have room for him. We have a ceiling that he doesn't hit his head on.
He's not up in the closet with no windows. It's an actual studio now.
It's not like we needed windows anyway. Oh, we look outside and just see rain.
Yeah. I seen it.
Oh, my goodness.
I want to know if you've ever seen the rain. We've seen it in Alabama.
We've seen a lot of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, hey, I tell you what, when hour one ends, we'll have that. Just a reminder, we will not be in studio tomorrow.
Right.
So you'll be able to listen to some of the interviews throughout the week. And I imagine the Chris Welch interview there, you'll be able to hear again.
And we appreciate him so much.
Yes. Yeah. Chris is really good though, by the way, on the pickleball courts.
Well, I mean, he's got his own pickleball business. I would think he's probably pretty good. I mean, I didn't know that till yesterday, and I thought, well, I know Scott's, crossed paths with Chris then many times.
I do.
Yeah.
I see him out there quite a bit.
Right.
Hey, let's get a break in. Hour two coming up next.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
I'm here with our good friend John Kendall. He's got 23 years of retail mortgage experience in the Tennessee Valley, and he's powered up with the #1 retail mortgage lender in the nation.
That's right, Scott. We have joined with Cross Country Mortgage, and that is true. We're the #1 retail mortgage lender in America. And with that powerhouse team and our experience here locally, we're ready to go.
They've got 120 mortgage, refinance, and home equity solutions to fit every need. If you call on Cross Country Mortgage, it is for the win.
That's right. You can reach me, Scott, at 256-562-3780, or you can go to crosscountrymortgage.com and then search my name.
It's Cross Country Mortgage and John Kendall, a powerhouse team. One more time, John.
That's crosscountrymortgage.com, 256-562-3780. If we can't close your loan, it simply cannot be closed.
Equal Housing Opportunity Company in MLS, number 3029.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
It's hour 2 of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond. Welcome into the program. SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center helping us kick off hour number 2, dedicated to providing care that improves lives. 256-881-5151 if you want to experience the SportsMed difference. We use them. I use them. So get on out there. If you got any kind of nicks and bruises, they are the official medical providers for the UAH Chargers, which you can hear right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. And that's where our next guest started his journey.
Yeah, I'll find the picture later in my phone because I've got 13,000 literally. but you know how it started and how it's going.
Yeah,
because in our previous digs on L&N in the closet, it's an Eminem song. But we had our next guest there before he left for Auburn, after he became the Gulf South Conference Player of the Year, spending his first 3 seasons as a UAH Charger, and then went to Auburn and had a chance to be a part of the greatest team in the history of this state collegiately. Went to the Final Four for the second time this year. We're number 1 for much of the season, won an SEC regular season championship, and as we said, reached the Final Four, the pinnacle of college basketball, before losing a very tight game but to the eventual national champion Florida Gators. They were this close to winning the first national championship Division I wise in the history of our state. And of course, we're talking about Chaney Johnson. Chaney, man, it's an honor to have you back.
It is.
What a quick, 2+ years. At the time flies a little bit.
Man, what? I mean, it done flew right past me. Like, I'm blinking and now I'm already out
I think
of
you grew 2 inches too, bro. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I mean, we know Anthony Camara signed you out of Thompson after you were 6'3".
Yeah.
I think when you talked to us, you were 6'7", and I think you're 6'9" now.
It feels like you're 6'11".
Yeah.
I was saying I did grow an inch when I got to Auburn.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
At least an inch.
Yeah. So I was 6'5" without shoes.
Yeah.
At Auburn. So
yeah. Wow.
And then I got measured. I want to say either this year or late last year, and they said I was 6'6" and a half, 6'7" without shoes.
Wow. So
what a run.
So take us through the journey. What was the biggest difference for you year 1 to year 2 at Auburn? Because we saw you in year 1 and it was like, okay, you've made some strides. You definitely are where you're supposed to be from UAH to Auburn. Now from Auburn to year 1 to year 2, what was the difference for you? When did it just it seemed like the game slowed down a little bit in year 2?
So I could thank Coach Ira Bowman. He's on the Auburn staff, and all summer we were just working on simplifying my game. The college game is a lot different. From D2 to D1, like the sets you run, and you got a lot of more talented players that you're playing with, so you don't have time to really swing cross behind. I was coming there trying to do all that, but just simplifying the game and making it a lot more easy, making it a lot more efficient.
Yeah, and Chaney, I mean, I've got to ask you too, because he was one of my favorite guys. I had a chance to talk with him a couple of times. I went to SEC Media Days. I go every year. It's been at the last several years, the Grand Bohemian Hotel over in Mountain Brook. And he wasn't a part of this year's team, but he was such a part of a fabric of it for really 5 years. Yeah. How much, as far as a mentor, did Jalen Williams have to do with your career at Auburn? Because he just seemed like such a good dude. I enjoyed it in my interactions with him. I could just tell how much Bruce Pearl, Stephen Pearl, that Ira Bowman, the whole staff respected him and the way he developed in his career at Auburn. How much did you learn from him in your journey to become such a key cog in such a great team the last 2 years, and especially this season?
I mean, Jay Will, he was Mr. Efficient. He was Mr. Do It All. When the team needed him most, he always found a way to show up. So, watching under him, learning ways that he made basketball easier, made it easier on me.
So the beginning of the year, Auburn was, you guys were expected to be good.
Yeah, no doubt.
Not great. That was the word great was not there. Good was going to be used. It was like, okay, what are we going to get from this Auburn team? What are we going to get from? They're going to be good. But man, you guys,
Maui was where it's
yes.
the breakout.
All of a sudden, it started
I thought Auburn was going to be really, really good. But when the way that you guys ran through Maui, which was a great field,
yes,
I think that showed everybody that Auburn's going to maybe getting back, where they got, which was the Final Four, because that field was tremendous. I talk about being able to play in the Maui Classic.
Man, so. You grow up watching Maui, you grow up seeing the court. It's a lot smaller in person.
Really?
Yeah, it's a lot smaller. It's a lot more compact, and it's louder in person as well. Because since it's so small, it feel like everybody noise is bouncing off the wall and it's coming directly on the court. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of like playing at West Alabama.
I was going to ask, was it similar to Spraggins? Because Spraggins Hall is not huge either.
Right.
It can get very
it's
loud.
smaller than Spraggins.
It's smaller?
It's smaller than Spraggins. Yeah,
okay, because I've never had the covering game over
Spraggins got a second deck. Maui is just court. You got fans, and it probably only go up maybe 10 rows, maybe, I think.
So did you do any surfing over in Maui?
Nah, I'm not. Well, I did some canoeing.
Okay.
Team bonding.
Yeah, so you guys go over to Maui and you have a great run there. You win that. What was the feeling like coming back from the team wise, coming back from Maui, and it was like you still had some premier non-conference matchups left?
Yeah.
What was that conversation like coming back from Maui and trying to get refocused on everything that was lying ahead?
We're not done. Dylan Cardwell, in the summer, had the whole team sign something that's basically told each other that we was gonna give it our all. So we just knew coming in the season, I knew we was gonna be good.
Right.
People said we was gonna be good, but I knew we was gonna be really good.
Right. Like I said, people said you guys were gonna be good. But like Drew said, you go and you win Maui, and it's now all of a sudden the expectations are sky high.
Yeah. So, we just we're not done. I feel like after we won Maui, it's we really are good now. So we just got to continue to do what we was doing to get us to this point and do more.
Right.
So we could, possibly reach that number one spot at the time. I don't think we was number one then. I think we was probably top 10.
No,
yeah.
I'm looking at it because you guys beat a really good Iowa State team at that time. At that time, they were a top 5 team, and that was a classic game. And then just beat the ever-loving bejesus, because I watched it out of North Carolina. That wasn't even really a close game. Never. You guys controlled that one. And then Memphis, who ended up being really good, that was another team that they started coming to the forefront in Maui. You guys beat them, and to be honest, that to me that showed. And then I know it wasn't a win, but I watched this too. That game in Cameron was a high level of game, and I think we all were thinking it might end up being the national championship game in a rematch.
Yeah. Duke, they were young, and for them to make it that far, being that young, just testament to the players and the coaching. But yeah, they were real talented, and Cameron was not nice to us.
They
weren't nice at all.
So we come off the heels of the NBA draft, and speaking of Duke, they had 3 first rounders. You got to play against all 3 of those guys. What was it like? trying to come up with a scheme to stop? I mean, all of them, but especially Cooper Flag.
I mean, all of them have their weaknesses. Every player have weaknesses, but I mean, being that good, you can only try to scout their weaknesses when most of the time it's really not even a weakness. It's just they don't really have that really in their game, but at the same time they do. They're able to simplify the game to such a level that they're so good at 2-3 things, they don't worry about the other things. Like Coop really will do it all, but like his so-called weakness was shooting. But like he could shoot the ball. You know what I'm saying? And he could draw so good that like it's like, man, I may leave him open, but I mean he could shoot. So it's like he's really a tough cover. I mean, he gave me a tough bucket. It was on the left wing. We normally be in gap. Like, me, I'm a help defender. My team may get beat. I'm helping, That's how I got no fouls. I'm trying to help, and I'm gonna stop somebody. But I ended up I'm guarding them. I'm like, I thought I had a gap in the corner.
Right. Yeah.
No gap. I was on the island. Blew by me. I think at this point I already had one foul. So it's like, nah, I don't know. I can't foul this one. So I'm trying to, got him to the basket. Was going to meet him at the rim and wall up, but he hit me with a spin and just shot right over me. I'm just like, that's like, I mean, I shoot fades, but like for him to be shooting fades and only like maybe 17, 18, like that's a pro.
Yeah. What was it like in Cameron? You mentioned Cameron wasn't kind.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of Auburn faithful in Cameron. I know you didn't win the game, but there was a lot of Auburn noise there inside Cameron. It kind of got to him a little bit.
Yeah. So I'll say this, with the ACC versus SEC challenge, they only allow a certain amount of our fans to get in there. So I'm pretty sure if they allow, they opened it up to allow more of our fans, it would have been a lot of our fans would have showed up.
No doubt.
But since they try to give the home court team an advantage. They were still out in there for us, and we started off good. But like I said, they was talented. And you let a guy that really rarely gets any PT, he was a 5-star coming out of high school. But they wasn't really playing him at the time. And he comes in and that's his come out game. He had 18 in like 3 minutes. I'm like, yo, like, where did he come from? Like, I knew who he was. I'm like, it's just crazy. And that's just how talented they were. Cause like the players that wasn't playing were talented enough to start. I mean, he was talented enough to start at Duke. But I mean, I don't know. It was just crazy.
Well, and then compare and contrast too, because Neville Arena has become one of the biggest home court advantages in all of college basketball. And but size-wise, it's very similar to Cameron. Now that you've had a chance to play in Cameron, they weren't very nice. How does it compare to Neville? Because Neville is off the wall and so loud as well.
No disrespect to Cameron.
Right.
But I feel like, the jungle is a little bit more classy. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit more respect in there, They're not really dropping no F-bombs, no chants, It's a little more classy. But, I mean, I know it's hard to play in the jungle. Like, we get so loud in there, and don't let us get on the run, because once we get on the run and our crowd's in it, it's no coming back from that, because they yelling, I'm pretty sure the opposing team can't hear what sets they running because it's so loud in there. And like you said, it's not the biggest arena, but it's also not the smallest.
I've been in it. It's not the smallest either, but I mean, I can't imagine when it's full. Like it's just like at Cameron though. Everybody's on top of you. It's so loud, and then like I kind of thought the crowning moment of the home schedule was that epic win over Tennessee. I mean, the comeback, and then Joe and I making the plays on both ends of the floor, and then setting up Miles Kelly, and then him ripping that big shot to beat a team that was Final Four caliber. They didn't make it. I had them making it. They didn't quite get there, but certainly Tennessee was an unbelievable team. And then watching you guys, I got a chance to watch you. I mean, that atmosphere in Coleman Coliseum was crazy, but you guys came on the road and just beat a really good Alabama team and basically controlled it, man.
1 versus 2, that's crazy. That's the first time that ever happened.
How big was that for the state in your mind?
Man, that was enormous, man. I feel like Alabama basketball is on the rise right now. Collegiately,
collegiately, and
in high school as well, like we're starting to, develop a lot more talent here. And, we're not really, I feel like that tide is going to change from just only football to,
Right.
basketball and football. I feel like the tide is kind of shifting a little bit.
So he mentioned Janai Broome.
Yeah.
What was that like this year? I mean, you mentioned how much of a leader Dylan Cardwell was. Janai had to be just up there. And especially for you. I mean, what was it like playing with and learning from Janai this past season?
I mean, Janai is he's one of the coolest guys you ever meet, one of the goofiest guys you ever meet. You know what I'm saying? He's just a good friend, a great teammate. A heck of a player. I mean, you're talking about somebody that could literally just step on the court and give you a 20 and 15 double-double on any given night, 25 and 15 double-double on any given night. His touch is amazing. He has great footwork, And Maui, he was showing people, he got the pat, step back threes. It's just he's a great teammate, a great player. And, he was one of those guys that always fed into his teammates. He's one of those guys that I give credit for, always, speaking positivity into me. Because, I always have great games, and he was one of them guys that, always you're a pro, you one of the best kept secrets. You're really good. So play with confidence. You know what I'm saying? So he's just a heck of a teammate, and I can't wait to see where he's gonna go tonight.
Yeah, we hope to see his name called early.
Oh, we're gonna see it.
Second round.
We're gonna see it,
no
for
doubt.
sure.
And then I got to ask you too, because I think it was slightly unexpected, but it was another reason Auburn became one of the top 2 to 3 teams in the country this year, and that was Denver Jones making the complete transformation to a point guard, because when he was signed, he was more of considered a 2 or an off-the-ball guy and great defender. He was a great defender anyway, but when J.P. Pegues just couldn't make that jump and he decided and he took over the point, I mean, I thought he did a great job. I thought he was the key to beating Alabama and Tuscaloosa, his defense, his shot making, and then just overall, I know Bruce Pearl said it after that game and throughout the season about how good a perimeter defender he was, but I mean, I don't know if he'll get his name called tonight, but I certainly think he's going to have pro opportunities.
He's going to get picked up.
But talk about the year Denver had, and another guy that kind of represents us here who spent half his career at Buckhorn.
Y'all need to have him on the show because, he's in town right now. And,
is he?
Yeah, I'm actually working out with him after I leave here.
Really?
Yeah, I'm working out. Me and him working out.
You need to help us make that happen.
I got you.
Yes, we need it. We need to get it in.
So I'm actually talk to him doing the workout. I'm like, hey,
nice.
You gotta come on this show, man. But Denver, like I said, I did not say I'm one of the best kept secrets. Denver is one of them guys that just he's so underrated, and it's crazy to me because he could do everything. And I actually seen him during the season, I guess I'm 6'7", 6'8", I can't really tell how tall people are that are a couple inches shorter than me. But I seen him yesterday, and I'm like, bro, did you grow or something? I used to think you was they said 6'4", but I used to think you was probably 6'3", 6'2". Yeah. Nah, he a legit 6'4", almost borderline 6'5". When I looked at him, I'm like, it's crazy because he could do everything. He could guard, he could shoot. He's not skinny.
Right.
So, he's strong. He could play physically. He has some sneaky bounce. He has a bag that he done showed, and it's just he one of them guys that whatever team gets him, they're going to be so blessed because they're getting a hard worker and they getting somebody that, really they getting somebody that's worth more than what they're getting them for. And I know with Denver, he's just waiting for any opportunity. He's not going, I need to go get more. Nah, he just wants to get to that next level. And he's going to get picked up on the summer league, and he's going to get picked up by the NBA team. I don't see overseas. And ain't nothing wrong with overseas, but with Denver Jones, he's going to get picked up by somebody, and he's going to be in the league for as long as he wants to be in the league.
Your guys' path to the Final Four this year, it started in Lexington, and then it went to Atlanta. And I got to ask you, in Atlanta, Janai goes down in that game. It's a moment every Auburn fan will remember, but he leaves the court. And it's a moment that, I mean, a lot of people see on TV over and over and over again.
Yeah.
The one person that he comes to and whispers a bunch of stuff is to you. To you. And it's like, what was that moment? I mean, what was it like for the team to see him leave the floor? And you don't have to share it if you don't want to, but what did he tell you in that moment?
I'll share. He was just like, because the thing was, I think Dylan was by me. I don't think he just came to talk to me. It was Dylan.
Yeah.
He was right beside me. He came and huddled up with us. He was like, y'all gonna have to finish this game. And I was like, we got you. We got you, man. But it was like, at the end of the day, you know, I mean, it was times where he done went down. So it wasn't like it was any nerves there.
No.
It was just more so like we got here with you.
Yeah.
So I mean, I hope they hit you with some steroids or something, because we gonna need you to make it as far as we did. So we're gonna keep need you. But then he came and told us like we're gonna have to finish this game for him, and you know, thank God he was able to come out, you know, all wrapped up and hit that tray ball.
I was going to
really
say, we came out like Willis Reed and hit a tree.
Yeah.
Hit a tray,
What were you guys
first
thinking when you see him coming walking back out of the
Man.
tunnel and like, dude, I'm gonna play?
I was like, thank God. That's what I said. Thank God.
And then he hits a three.
Hits a three. I was like, yep, that's game. I was like, Final Four.
I mean, come on,
we in
man.
the Final Four. So,
well, we've got to ask the last few minutes with you, but what is your process now going to be?
Yeah.
I mean, of course, you'd love to hear your name called tonight, but you and your agent and your trainer, what are you guys expecting out of this, and what is your next move? I know you want to play professionally. You're going to have some opportunities.
Yeah, for sure. So, I'll tell you about the process in general. So, I was trying to get another year.
Right. Oh, okay.
I was
yeah,
looking-
because yeah. I knew they were you and Denver both, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I was trying to get another year. And I'm happy that I didn't, because I was able to work out for teams. But the thing is, like, I procrastinate a lot, you know, and I feel like God's working on that with me to go ahead and get things out the way, and not necessarily get things out the way, but like, you feel me, get things done. So, for me to been able to sue the NCAA and still work out for teams and maybe come back, I was gonna have to put my name in the draft for I was gonna put my name in the draft earlier.
Yeah.
But since I didn't, it was more so like I was automatically put in the draft because, you know, I was a senior. So while I was in Tampa, you know, I was talking with Auburn, you know, my agent.
Yeah.
I was talking with family. I'm like, you know, I might really want to get another year, you know, another year Division I under my belt. You know, I'll be a year older, but you know, I have another year to really show the pro scouts what I like, you know, what I really can do. But you know, I prayed on it, and it was just like, I mean, the margin that I was gonna be able to get that year back was so low. I was like, you know what, like, I mean, I know I'm capable of being a good NBA player and, you know, getting a spot in the league. So I'm just go ahead and do it. So my first workout was with the Cavs.
Nice.
Went real good, like extremely good. And funny thing is, after that, I get back to the Birmingham airport, and you know, in the skies you ain't got no data. So I get back to the Birmingham airport at like 11 o'clock, and my agent hit me like, the Wizards want you on the workout. You gotta wait. You gotta be leaving here at 6. So I had a flight at 6.
So you got back at 11 and had to get back at 6.
Did you just sleep in the airport?
No, so my mom ended up picking me up, taking me to the house. Wow. I probably went to sleep at like 12:30.
Yeah.
And the airport is like almost 40 minutes away. So I had to wake up at 4:30 the next day to go work out for the Wizards. And it was like, when he told me, I'm like, I'm like, you know what? This is what I wanted. So, you know, I ain't no complaints. So Wizard workout went real well. After that, I guess he kind of felt bad that he, you know, it was just a back-to-back. So I got like a little week off. And then, you know, last week I went Boston. Cavs called me back again to work out.
Okay.
And I heard that rarely happens. Like, it only happens if they really want you. So they end up calling me back And then I went Milwaukee, and then I went Houston. So I did 4 workouts in 4 days. I'm getting to these cities at like 10. I'm having to wake up at like 8 o'clock. I'm having to eat stuff because like certain at the airport, they ain't be closing early. Like I'm thinking like, why won't it be open longer? Like I know y'all have people like they be getting to these cities late, but everything be closed. So, one night I had to eat some Denny's, you know what I'm saying? I tried to get some steak and eggs, it was all right, but the steak,
it's not what you need.
It's not what I need.
Yes, it's what you can have, but it's not what you need.
Yeah, and I was in Denny's for probably about 45 minutes, and there was only 3 people in there. So, got to sleep late then. So it's just like I said, like it's a blessing to be able to travel city to city,
Right.
See these different facilities. But like it's definitely a tiring process. So, all 6 of my workouts, but 5 of the teams I worked out with went real well. So, I'm expecting, at least summer league, but there's a small chance that you may hear my name called tonight,
Man, that'd be
praying on it. It'd be,
wow.
I'd be,
Right.
I pretty much told my people, like, it'd be icing on the cake because at the end of the day, like, I mean, Final Four team, I almost averaged close to 10 points. It was probably like 9.1 or something. But like, I ain't gonna say I wasn't really expecting to work out with the teams that I worked out, but like, just like, I probably get like 1 or 2 workouts in. I wasn't really expecting to work out with certain teams and do as good as I did. It was very eye-opening to really be like, yo, like I really am, talented enough to play in the league. So I would just tell my folks, like, it'd be icing on the cake. Like, God has already blessed me to be able to travel to these teams and work out with these teams, allow these teams to see me, hear my story because I'm getting interviewed by them, So, I mean, to hear my name get called, I mean, it'd just be icing on the cake.
God's been a big part of all this too. And a lot of people don't understand. I mean, you guys had the motto, call God this year. And it was not just something you guys were just doing. That was something, and Bruce Pearl even talked about it a lot this season. That meant a lot to you guys.
My faith is key in a lot of things. Saw the light-skinned bald head dude with me at Food City the other day. Like, he's my mentor trainer. He's the guy that I could credit, my skills to, developing my skills. 'Cause I met him my first year at UH.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
all my explosion from freshman to sophomore to, COVID sophomore year, because I was at UH for 3 years,
Yeah.
But I could credit that to him and also my faith. Like, he's really a big brother to me, and he's like, any questions I have, any thoughts I have, all the things I'm going through, like, he's always there for me, and he's just a spiritual mentor that, like, God he's been so great to me. He just blessed me with a lot of opportunities. Like, I mean, coming on this show is a blessing. Like, to be able to have people that I could share my story with, and just have a great convo is just a blessing. But I mean, God's just been so great to me, and he just opened my eyes to a lot of things. Like, I feel like my first year at Auburn, like, I kind of fell away from him, and I feel like I ain't gonna say that's why I was playing bad, but like, I didn't have that peace at mind that I had this year. Like, I said working out with IB, also with my trainer helped me to simplify my game. But at the end of the day, I had a different peace and tranquility to me to where it's just like, last year, like, I mess up, I'm mad, I'm yelling, in my mind, I'm working out, I miss 5 threes in a row, I'm yelling cuss words and stuff, to now it's just like, I'm missing, all right, let me make the next 3 shots in a row. Or I'm missing, let me lock in and make the next 10 shots in a row. So it's just like that peace that God gives me and gives the people that really do believe in him and trust in him, is no peace can compare to it.
Well, I mean, I know it's been a huge deal for us in the last several years. We had Kyra Lewis be the first lottery pick from Madison County to go, and and then Kobe Brown, first round pick. But now this second round, how big for North Alabama would it be? Like, if you got your name called tonight, Denver Jones, and even Mark Sears of Alabama, because, I mean, we're talking Auburn basketball today. But how big would it be if you three guys could get your name called tonight?
Man, that'd be big. Like I said, Alabama's growing, so this is just a start. I mean, nothing wrong with the second round, but I feel like, it's talent that could,
Nikola Jokic, Dennis Rodman. I can go down the list.
Yeah, it's been a lot of
Herb Jones.
Players that have been good, have been drafted in the second round. But I feel like the talent is getting to where it is now. Like the young bulls, like Caleb Holt. One of my guys that went to my high school, Coben Landrew. It's talent I'm telling you, Alabama basketball is growing, and this is just a start. Like you had Kyle Lewis on here, the first lottery pick. Like it's gonna be some more cats that come from Huntsville, come from just all parts of Alabama that's gonna get drafted first, second round. You're gonna hear their names called. You're gonna be like, oh, Alabama. Oh, he's from Alabama too. Oh, he's from Alabama too. Oh, he's from. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely growing.
Biggest moment off the court that you'll take away from the Final Four?
I mean, I don't know. I was pretty locked in. I wasn't. I walked around the lake walk that they had because we were staying at an amazing hotel. The lake walk that they had. But I was really locked in. So I wouldn't say it's a big moment. I was also sick.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was the plane. I don't know what it was, but like I was sick and I had to like when they had like the fanfare where all the players was able to go out and I wasn't there because I was resting. So maybe I could have a fun moment with my teammates there, but I was just locked in the whole time. I was just I was trying to get to that natty, and sadly we didn't get the job done. But I'm grateful to be able to make it to the Final Four because everybody can't say they played in the Final Four. So
that's right.
32-6, man.
All right, man.
Good luck tonight, brother.
We just flew through 32 minutes.
That doesn't even feel like that. I feel like we only been here for 5 minutes, man. It's just been so
That's what we do.
Yeah.
See, that's what you got to tell Denver. You got to be like, look, just go hang with them for about an hour. You won't even feel like it. It's just awesome.
No, I got you. I'm going to tell them for sure today that they want you, Scott Tyson, want you on this show, and hey, it's going to be the smoothest 30 seconds ever.
Oh, well, it's been good. It's been good. I know a lot of former UAH people. I know a lot of the coaches are listening this morning too. So it was.
Howdy. How y'all doing? Y'all tuning in? How y'all
Hey, they 32 games in a row.
Man, it's like everybody was like
Auburn 32-6.
Yes.
32-2, man.
Hey, Jack Costa with Chat, they was NIT.
Yes. Too. Yeah,
like what? Like everybody got the Marine last year. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing like UH. They breed them. You know what I'm saying? They breed winners.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chaney.
Appreciate y'all for having me.
We gotta get a break.
No, that was good. I love you, brother. Yeah.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards supporting support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
You've seen those beautiful epoxy floors in a garage or carport area and have probably wondered, how can I get that done? Well, the answer is Lifetime Epoxy Floors. Lifetime Epoxy Floors is an A-plus rated business with the Better Business Bureau and has been family-owned for over 14 years. They do both residential and commercial applications and get most jobs done in a day. Lifetime Epoxy Floors' motto is, we love what we do, and it shows. Visit lifetimeepoxyfloors.com to schedule a free estimate today and check them out on Facebook.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
The Tom Abraham Show, weekdays beginning at noon on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
Six 5, 6'6", my dude. He's trying to tell us he's 6'6".
Come on, Chaney's 6'8".
He's no way he's 6. I mean, he's standing next to me, and it's making me look small.
Yeah, we didn't.
Anyway, great conversation.
Brandon wanted me to ask him about impersonating John Shulman. If we hadn't had another guest scheduled, I may have asked him to do that.
We could have gone.
I actually saw John Shulman this weekend in Nashville, by the way.
Did you really?
Yeah, he was recruiting for Central Arkansas. He could use Chaney Johnson.
He could use a lot. Not gonna lie, but no, he'll tell us that too. But you know what?
Yeah.
Speaking of recruiting,
right?
Alabama has gotten a lot in the last few days.
And heck, it could be a busy day today, which means our next guest is going to be busy. And he's, of course, Rodney Orr, the founder and owner of TitleInsider.com. We've had a busy show, Rodney. I know you've had a busy week. Matter of fact, you have an annual rite of passage called the Firecracker 5 that comes out each and every 4th of July or around there. Had to do it a few days early this year with all this activity, Rodney.
You know, Drew and Scott, first of all, good morning. And
yes,
secondly, sir. You're right. You know, with all these announcements coming up, I'm like, man, if I wait till July 4th, they're not going to leave me anybody to put in the Firecracker 5.
Right. I think there's maybe one announcement the day after the 4th, but these are rapid fire. I don't know if I can remember as many announcements so close together, Rodney.
Yeah, it is. Like you said, at least 2 today, unless somebody else pops up. But, you know, Xavier Crowell tonight, announcing live on WKRG down in Mobile.
Right.
On their 6 o'clock news. And then also Max Sutter, the tight end from Dunlap, Illinois, announcing tonight. I think it's tonight.
I think it's 7:45. I think that's Central Time, but it's a little bit after Xavier Crowell.
Exactly. And so he's announcing tonight between probably Alabama and Illinois and Ohio State and some other schools that really recruited him hard. So this could be a big day for Alabama, I think.
They've already had and you were on with us at the end of last week and told us of some impending flips that could easily happen, and 2 of them did coming out of the weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Javari Barnett, the running back out of Tampa, who was committed to Illinois. Of course, he flipped after his visit this weekend. Rael Kelly, the safety out of Cincinnati, Winton Woods High School, was committed to Rutgers, and he flipped as well. Now let's about Barnett. You know how fans can be.
Right.
Well, Illinois. Why are we flipping guys from Illinois and Rutgers? Well, first of all, Barnett is a really good-looking back. He fits what Alabama likes to do. It's about 5'11", 205, can run with power, has great vision, and can run with some speed. He's got breakaway ability. So he's kind of well-rounded. That's the kind of back that obviously Grubb and DeBoer want. So I think he's a big pickup. And don't forget now, Britt Bielema, he's produced a ton of extremely productive running backs, guys that were really good. And he knows a running back when they spot one. So I do think he's a good pickup. And then also Kelly, the safety out of Winton Woods High School up there in Cincinnati. The guy's 6'3.5". He's over 6'3.5", I'm told.
Yes.
Weighs about 180. Going to get bigger, has a frame. He's really aggressive, covers a lot of field, great range, really long arms, great length, like Alabama likes in the secondary. He's a good-looking player. He really is. I'm surprised that he wasn't, one, ranked higher, and two, that other top programs, I'm not saying that there weren't other opportunities for him, but, he looks like a outstanding prospect to me.
Yeah, and we actually talked to Chad Murphy, his high school coach, yesterday about Rael Kelly, and he told us he thinks he's a pro. He said, his recruitment was slow the way it started, and he said it was a lot of MAC schools, and he was actually committed to Toledo before he flipped to Rutgers, and then he flipped to Rutgers, and then Alabama called, and I think there's a Kalen DeBoer connection there because of when he and and Kane and those guys were recruiting at Indiana, and then don't forget Mo Linquist came from the MAC as well. So Mo Linquist, I would think, knows Winton Woods High School really well. And the thing that Coach alerted me to is that it wasn't something that I was thinking about, but he brought it up at the very beginning of our conversation, Rodney, was Cam Calhoun came out of the same program, and he is very high on him as well.
Yeah, Cam Calhoun's out of that. Yeah, so now they're going to have
3.
They could have 3 if Calhoun sticks around for a while, which I think he will. But wow, that's pretty good because just a quick trivia. There's the only guy I ever remember from Winton Woods High School playing at Alabama through all these years.
Wow,
Brandon Myree.
Wow, he was from Winton Woods.
Wow.
I remember he was from the Cincinnati area, but that high school, wow.
Yeah, great guy, Brandon Myree. But so I think those guys are big pickups. I think they're good pickups. And I'll say this about the rankings right now. I still think they're really preliminary.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that where we are with the way the process has been moved up, guys just improve so much and develop so much between, junior going into senior years. They're only 60. Some of them are 16 years old, 17. Most of them are no older than 17 right now. Most of these guys haven't even come close to their development. They're going to get bigger. They're going to get stronger. They're going to get faster. So I think it's really difficult to these rankings. I don't know. They're. I'm not saying they're not, something that's a good guideline, but I think they can be a little misleading. And I'm going to give you an example real quick because I want you guys, in case we weren't going to mention him, watch out for Zay Hall.
Yes.
He's a linebacker at Tuscaloosa Hillcrest.
Okay.
I think he's going to announce late. He may announce as early as tomorrow. Okay. So it's nothing official yet, but he may announce as early as tomorrow, Alabama or Virginia Tech, like Alabama here. He's sick. He was injured last year. He got injured in the second or third game against Hoover. So he missed a big part of the season, played the last 2 games. He's 6'2". He's 237 inside backer, ran a 4.55 at Bama's camp. His head coach, Jamie Mitchell, down here at Hillcrest, won a lot of state championships over in Mississippi. He knows a player when he sees one, and he raves about him on and off the field and said, look, I promise you, this guy is a difference maker. So he's got incredible measurables, as I mentioned. Zay Hall's a name to remember.
No question.
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to predict those, and it's hard to predict when these announcements are going to come too, because we didn't know in the last week and a half, how many flips Alabama would have, how many announcements we have, and Alabama could get some more in the meantime, though, right? I mean, it's kind of hard to predict when these are going to happen.
Right. I mean, I know obviously there's the ones that are scheduled are much easier to kind of follow here. And there's so much going on and so many social media and all this. It's kind of hard to, just really keep up with it all in terms of the dates. We'll say this, and I'm sure you guys were going to mention this, so I don't want to jump ahead, but Xavier Griffin announces the 5-star linebacker from Gainesville, Georgia. He's going to announce on Sunday.
Yes.
And, obviously Texas has really made a late push here, a strong push. But I still like Alabama here. Talking to people over in Texas that I really trust, they say that Texas kind of thinks he's going to Alabama. So, you like to feel around other places and see what they're thinking, get their perspective. And, again, could things change? Yeah. But I think right now the feeling is that Xavier Griffin's going to end up at Alabama.
And, of course, he's now playing with Jamarian Matthews, who played his first 3 years here over at Sparkman High School, but has transferred over there and is also committed to the University of Alabama. So that would certainly be big for. And then in the coming days, well, we may see the wide receiver, class go from 0 to 3, Rodney, because I know there's two that could be both announcing. They're both announcing on July 2nd, and then Owen Cabell from Nashville Christ Presbyterian. I know he's another one that Alabama really likes.
I think Cabell will announce on the 30th. So that would be Monday? Next Monday, I think. So he announces on Monday. He's 6'3", 195. He's kind of underrated, obviously, again, under the radar evaluation there. Courtney Morgan, Jamarcus Shepard. He's run a 10.7, 600 meters. They brought him here. He went. The video got out. I don't know if Owen put it out or someone else close to him put the video out of his workout at Alabama. It's very impressive. Very impressive. He ran a 4.440 here at 6'3", close to 200 pounds. I know that his high school coach is Ingle Martin.
There we go.
You might remember him
from the past. Yep.
Yep, and Ingle obviously played in the SEC, knows what he's looking at, and I haven't talked to Ingle lately about it, but I've got some people close to Ingle who tell me Ingle just raves about this kid's potential. So Owen Cabell on the 30th. Now, Drew, look, I got it messed up last week. I got it corrected this week.
Right.
Brian Williams Jr. is actually announcing on the 1st.
It is the 1st? Okay.
It is the 1st, so I apologize for that.
No worries.
I messed it up on your show last week. But like I said, these dates are hard to keep up with, man. So anyway, he announces on the 1st, and I like Alabama here again. You're talking about a guy that's 6'3 plus, great speed down the field, has a height, the speed to stretch the field, two of the critical factors that DeBoer and Shepard and Grubb look for. So he's a guy that I wrote Florida, Notre Dame, Penn State, Alabama, Kentucky was in there as well, but I think he picks Alabama. And then on the 2nd, you mentioned that Cedarian Morgan, 5-star receiver from Benjamin Russell, he announces, I really like Alabama's position here. Georgia's been in there, Auburn, Clemson, you name it. I mean, he's 5-star rated receiver. So 6'4", 210. I like Alabama's position there. So you're right. Those three could fall for Alabama real quickly next week.
And then finally, around the July 4th holiday or just after, Jariah Edwards from St. Francis in Baltimore, a school that's been very kind to Alabama, but he's considered maybe the top safety in the country. And I know since his official visit, he's also canceled some visits. Alabama feels, I think, good about him right now.
Yes, and he is, again, maybe the top safety in the country, certainly one of them. 5-star rated player, 6'2", 205, extremely productive this past year. Had over 90 tackles. I think he had 17 tackles for losses. It's pretty impressive. A lot of pass breakups. It's a very active player, physical player. And you mentioned Georgia, Auburn, A lot of schools, obviously Oregon, many schools were after coast to coast, Jeriah Edwards. So, but I do think when he announces on the 5th that, again, it'll be more fireworks for Alabama.
Well, and then my final question would be about a guy. Some have him in the top prospect in the state. I think it'd be consensus he'd be in the top 3 with Xavier Crowell reclassifying and hopefully committing to Alabama later today. But talk about where Alabama is with Anthony Tank Jones. I know you've been on the show before. You've talked about it before the visit. You felt like Alabama was right in there, but so was Oregon and Texas A&M. After the official visit this weekend and, his parents, family being there, where does Alabama stand with Tank Jones right now in your mind?
Yeah, actually talking to people, there on Sunday afternoon when the visits were about to wind up, people that I spoke to were saying, hey, man, this guy is he's having a great time here. His family's having a great time. They're decked out in Bama stuff. I mean, that happens a lot, but and that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Right.
But they were having a fantastic time. And the feeling was on Sunday evening that, hey, Bama's probably moved ahead. If they weren't already probably ahead a little bit, they've kind of, taken that next step. And now it kind of just seems to be going more and more towards Alabama. I don't know what Tank Jones in terms of his exact announcement date right now. I don't know that he set that. But you mentioned Texas A&M. You mentioned Oregon. Obviously Auburn's been in there and Miami too. But I think he's a must get. Number one, he's a great player in state. And number two, he's going to be I think he's going to be a defensive lineman. When you look at the way he's built, he's going to get bigger, a lot bigger potentially. And I think he's going to end up a defensive lineman. And I think if you look at this class, that's the one area. I think Mari Johnson's obviously a really good looking player. Jamarian Matthews, you mentioned him. He's a good looking player. I think those guys are probably going to be defensive linemen for sure. And then J.J. Finch, who committed out of Indianapolis. I think he's vastly underrated. He's going to be a really good player potentially. But now they need 2 more at least, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And they've got to close on some really talented guys. This guy's one of them. I think, Elijah Golden's one, Nolan Wilson is one, but certainly Tank Jones is one. They've got to get, in my opinion, Drew and Scott, they need 2 of those 3.
Well, it'd be big. Well, it's going to be a lot of fireworks, as you said, and you can read Rodney's Firecracker 5 and read about that over at TiderInsider.com. Let everybody know how to connect with you, Rod.
Right. It's TiderInsider.com. It's only $48 a year. You get instant access with your credit card if you prefer. There is an address there to send a check. Gives you all our premium information. Again, our Firecracker 5 went into detail on some of these things that we've talked about here, touched on. And then also our All Sports Forum. Mm-hmm. Right now, listen, we're only a few weeks away from SEC Media Days. It's going to crank up. Then we're into camp. And then all of a sudden, it's August 30th, so things are really going to pick up here on TiderInsider.com.
Well, Rodney, we appreciate it, man. Have a great weekend and always enjoy catching up.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronnie. Yeah, we are just a few weeks from Thomas Castellanos running through Alabama.
Uh-huh.
We gotta get a break in. Oh, it leaves you speechless. We'll wrap it all up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Your Fox 54 weather brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
And Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible through the heart of the afternoon, early into the evening. Some of those could be stronger. Still, temperatures climbing into the mid-90s, dropping into the lower 70s as we head into the overnight. A partly sunny sky with scattered showers and thunderstorms. Once again, as we head into your Friday, highs in the low 90s.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hey there, everybody. Bob Baumhauer here, letting you know that we understand that times are tough and we truly believe value matters. So, by popular demand, we brought back our Inflation Bites menu featuring scratch-made meals that will make the whole family smile and your wallet, too. Menu items start at just $7.99 and any entree comes with a free beverage. Try our classic tailgate burger for just $8.99 or our hearty Bam Bam chicken platter for $9.99. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Well, your tomorrow's headlines today, we really haven't gotten to talk a lot about anything in the show as far as anything goes, because big thank you to Chris Welch for joining us in hour number one. That was an extended conversation. Chaney Johnson was an extended conversation.
Hell, we could have talked to the 6'8", Chaney 6'8". Chaney Johnson.
6'5", 6'6", my ass.
Gee. We could have talked to him for the whole hour.
We could have, and he just texted me. He's like, dude, he goes, I enjoyed every bit of that.
That was both of our visits with Chaney, you know, when he left UAH, and he really didn't even want to leave, but he knew he had to. And then and the experience he had at Auburn and being a part of that program, and a 32-6 year this year as a senior. And man, if he and Sears and Denver could get drafted tonight, man, what an awesome moment that would be.
Well, your Mutts get the best of the Braves last night, 7-3.
That's what happens when you have to start a rook.
Every dog finds a bone every now and then, right? And then the college basketball season in another season and a half or whatever, they're going to move to 32 regular season games. Wow. Big deal, no big deal, don't really know. I mean, they're just going to play 32 games now.
I just hope tonight that Colin Cowherd doesn't get redrafted. You know, and the ESPN crappy coverage will be back. That's for one thing you can count on. Not on ABC. Maybe you know what that means? Maybe Stephen A gets moved to ESPN. I don't know. Maybe they'll bring Carl Ravitch in tonight.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window Company. When it comes to replacement windows, exterior doors, or new window screens, Your Home Window is the answer anywhere in Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, or Hartselle. Your Home Window windows and doors are made here in the USA and come with a